Hey everybody, it's me, Shepalina, coming to you today with my Being Mary Jane review. I believe this was season 2, episode 6. We start off by a young man. It's breaking news because young black man, is outside his job, sitting in his car, kind of with a standoff with police. He has a gun. There's nobody else in the car with him, but he kind of has a gun to his head, so it's a risk for himself. And they're trying to figure out, talk him out of the car or whatever. But he keeps putting up little signs saying that, I always felt like I was under surveillance, or just things, I guess, something was going on with him and within his company. And I guess he didn't feel like he was heard or whatever. So he took drastic measures and actually wound up taking his own life. And it was just a lot. And it it comes to find that, well, I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Mary Jane is home watching it, getting ready to come into the job, and she calls Kara, or Kara, however you say her name, her co-worker that she's always, I don't know if she's Mary Jane's boss or what, but they're always in cahoots together. And she's just talking to her about the situation. They're trying to figure out some information on him, but they really don't have anything on him. It's just like, who is he? What's going on with him? Did he work there? So long story short, she does find out later on that he did work at that company, and there was some stuff going on that went unanswered or it wasn't tended to. So he wound up doing what he did. Um, so David actually is in front of Mary Jane's house when she gets, herself together to go to work. So she's like, "What are we going to do this every day? Like, you, every time I turn around, you showing up at my house all uninvited or whatever." And I kind of felt like she was standing her ground with him. It didn't turn into, some kind of love making at the front door. Like, she's always in that what's it, back in the day, was a vestibule. My grandmom had a vestibule. It was the front door, then that little space where you could put your umbrellas and your rain boots and all like that. Then it was the two other doors that you walked in that entered to the living room. But she doesn't have that, so it's always at the front door. Boom, boom, bangity. So anyway, they just talk, and he kind of is trying to say to her he feels trapped, but she's like, "Yeah, okay, you feel trapped, but you didn't think about that when you went on and had this relationship." And just so many things. Like, she wasn't trying to hear it. I kind of felt bad for him, but then I could see how she felt about it. It was like, now you want to come to me and talk. Now you want to say how y'all are just both just tolerating each other. She has a relationship that she had with somebody else. From the previous episode, she was talking about how she wanted to go have closure with this guy. He's in another country. She knows full well that he still loves Mary Jane just by his actions. And they both have kind of a similar story, so they deserve each other in a sense because they both have the same story. So Mary Jane is like, "Okay, listen, I gotta go. I understand all of that, but what do you want me to do? At the end of the day, you're still gonna be having a baby with somebody else. You're still gonna be in this relationship. You know what I mean? It's still gonna be as it is right now, that you're telling me that you feel trapped and I want to be with you and all that stuff. So kick rocks and let me get out of here and get to work." So he moves his car or whatever. She gets to work. Um, and as they're like kind of getting a story, they're trying to scramble to get a story together on this man who had just killed himself earlier in the day. Um, Gary Dordan's character, I can't think of his name right now, called her and said, are you alone or whatever? And she says yes, but she really wasn't. But she stepped out of the room, and of course, Kara's like, "Who's she talking to?" Being newsy, and he tells her, "I have some inside information on this, but you cannot link me to this source or whatever. And if you're interested, I could send a car for you after work and we can talk further." So she's like, "Yeah, okay." She goes back. Kara's, "Oh, who's that?" She's like, "Don't worry about what the players is doing. Just try to find some information." Oh, that was my mom. She played it smooth off like it wasn't even him. So she gets over to the house. Oh, and the song that was playing when Mary Jane was sitting on her bed talking to Kara before she even got dressed to come to work, it kind of sounded like, I liked it. I don't know what it was, but I liked it. And the music on here is wonderful. And it kind of gave me smacks of Michelle Ndegeocello, and I absolutely love her. I always loved her music. She has a great band. Saw her in person and her band was the truth. Like, I was in awe. Like, it's not people that I stand there and just like the whole performance, and she was one of them. I think I saw her down on Walnut Street in some little theater, but it was the bomb. But anyway, um, she gets to David, not David. I'm sorry, Gary Dourdan's character. She gets to his house. He's the car ride. She gets in there. He's cooking etouffee, and I was like, "Oh my god, that is so much." Oh, I would love to just go to somebody's house. They invite me over and really can cook, and the smells is going, and they got the wine going, and you talking, and they had such a like stimulating conversation. So much so that she kind of, I'm gonna say discharge for lack of a better word, on herself. But it was one thing I did forget. The doctor and her set up for her to have her egg extracted. That one, or the one, or two, or the three of that that's still pretty good that they can save. She had to inject herself with another needle to kind of throw her into an ovulating state. I think that's what they were doing, so she could have one good egg that they would extract and save or whatever. And then I guess But anyway, so they said that was a side effect. And but before she got to that, though, they were talking, and they were just talking. Well, he was talking about how he used to work there. That is kind of his story, but he had to get up and leave there before he did what the man in the car did earlier in the story. And he was just talking about that, and they were just talking about the plight of the black man, the plight of the black woman. Mary Jane seemed kind of rushed at first. It was like, come on, come on, come on. I ain't come here for all of this. Yeah, but I didn't come over here to eat. He lets her taste the food. He gives her the origin of etouffee, which I absolutely love. Like, I will give you the origin of something. Being a chef, I would give the origin of something as simple as one time I was bringing some food over to my friend Deanna's house because she was getting married, and me and her daughter were talking about what I would bring, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna bring a po' boy sandwich. Do you know the origin of a po' boy? Why they call it that?" So I broke it all down for her. She was like, "Only you, Miss Shonda. Only you." And it gave me a breakdown of the food that you're bringing. It's like I gave her a 3x5 card with my sandwich. Here's my sandwich, but here's But anyway, so it was. She said it was good. He said the actual definition of etouffee is smothered. And they were talking. It kind of segued right into that man felt smothered by his company, and it further came out that the company knew for well that he felt smothered. He felt invisible in his own company. He felt like he couldn't, which a lot of African Americans feel in the corporate level. They feel smothered. Like, even like this hairstyle that I have here. This is all natural hair, but some people or corporate America would look at this as maybe because I'm not all long and straightening out my hair, and it's nothing wrong with that because I've had all kinds of hairstyles. But if I want to just claim who I am and what my hair really is, they have a problem with that. They see it as aggressive, or they see it as, oh, well, this is not really fitting in with the mold. And it shouldn't be about that. It should be what is right, what is wrong, like she said on the show, and what kind of work ethic and what my work is saying, and how my work is speaking for me. But long story short, they got so engrossed in the conversation, and it was great. The conversation was really great. And at the end of the day, me being a single black woman, that's what I'm looking for. A black man who's educated enough, or who can just go. I could take him anywhere I want to go. If I'm doing a big chef presentation somewhere where it is corporate or whatever, and I need him to be there with me, he knows how to speak. You know what I mean? He's not going to say something out of his mouth that's going to embarrass me or make me feel like, why did I bring him? You know what I mean? And that's hard, kind of, sort of, these days. And they started making quotes on how many women have higher education and degrees and PhDs and doctorates and bachelors, and opposed to black men or whatever. And don't get me wrong, I'm not down on any black man who doesn't have a degree, because I just really got mine or attained mine, within the last couple of years or whatever, because I was being a mom and working a full job at a government installation. But I still would want somebody who's bringing to the table what I'm bringing or more. You know what I'm saying? You never want to be around people who are not doing what you're doing, less than what you're doing. You'll never go further because you're the star in the group. You want somebody that you're looking to be like, So long story short, she leaves. He does ask her out, though. He does ask her out. He said, I'm leaving for a couple of days, and when I come back into the country, I want to talk about me and you possibly seeing each other. And she was like, all right, what's up? So we go back to Kara real quick. She's in the market. She's buying a little groceries or whatever. Gael, the guy who she likes and he likes her, they see each other, and when she sees him, he speaks Spanish to her or whatever, and she's like laughing him off because she says she doesn't really date Latinas, but she says, "Oh, well, when you're ready to speak Spanish, English to me, meet me over in the milk aisle or wherever she was." So he was like, "Yeah, whatever." He walked away. He paid for his stuff and he left. So it's like, ooh, he's intriguing. He's not, letting me talk to him in any kind of way. He's acting like he's not bothered. He's unpressed or whatever. So he blew her off, and Kara, I just think she plays too many games. Like, I know that she's into her work or whatever, but whatever. She needs to kind of have something outside of that, and she really doesn't. But I think Gael kind of has her number or whatever. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Later on, he does come around. He asks her to dinner. I think he texts in Spanish, like, "What's wrong with you? You can't speak Spanish?" Or, you know what I mean? Is that what it is? And she laughs and was like, because she's kind of giddy with him now, like, everything he says and does, she's like, amused by it. Whereas before she was like, "Listen, I don't have time for this, Pompey. I gotta work, okay? If you can't deal with me working, then speed on before you get peed on, Poppy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a working girl. You know what I mean?" But now she's like, kick. Anyway, so Val calls Mary Jane. This is another day. Val, who is oh god, Sally Richardson, calls Mary Jane, is like, "When was the last time you seen Lisa? I haven't heard from her." And Mary Jane remembers that they had that little fight or whatever. So they go over there, they meet over there. She's like, "You seem a little scared." Mary Jane's like, "Oh no, I don't think she's no problem." She's like, "I think she got a problem. Are you going? You need to tell me something." She's like, "Yeah, well, I think she does have a problem because the last time we saw each other, we had a little fight or whatever, and I haven't seen her since." So they just sit down, and I guess she medicated Lisa. Val did, and then Mary Jane and her sat down in the dining room and just started talking about the situation. And she was just like, "Be upfront with me. How do you feel?" And they started talking or whatever. And then Mary Jane kind of gets inappropriate. Like, to me, she might not have meant it in a bad way, but she already knows that Lisa is feeling some kind of way. And Lisa overhears her because she said, "Oh, maybe she so wound up because she ain't had sex in so long, and she's so, she's sexless, funless, and like all of this little mean kind of spirited stuff." Now, Gabrielle, you said that you used to be that type of person. I'm seeing that you bringing some of that out in your acting. But anyway, so Lisa come around the corner. "Oh, you just gonna come in my dining room and sit here with Valerie and talk about me? How I'm sexless and funless or whatever." And then she just proceeds to get Mary Jane together, and Mary Jane tries to get up and leave like at least 2 times, and Val was like, "No, you gotta let her speak her piece. It's an issue with y'all. Y'all have you two have an issue. It's obvious, and it's not just David." But she had something happen with her family long time ago. I don't know if she lost her parents or whatever. So Lisa and Mary Jane met in like the 3rd grade. So she's like her mother. She's like her sister. She was in her mom's bed last week. She was went over to see her mom because Mary Jane wasn't talking to her or nobody else in the family. She was laying in her mother's bed. I don't have a friend that I think my mom would have them laying in her bed. Not no. Yeah, like if my mom was still living. Like, I have friends that my mom has known that for a long time, but I doubt if my mom would have them laying in the bed. So that's just showing how close the family is or whatever. But they get into it, and Mary Jane kind of tells her, "I'm done. Like, I was trying to be over here I was just joking around, but you're taking it so serious." And we're back to some David stuff, and we're back to some, because she said, you get everything. You got all these blessings. You got all this family, and you're constantly complaining. You get everything handed to you on a platter, but you're constantly complaining. Miss Mary Jane, such and such stuff, all da da da. My S don't stink, but you always complaining or whatever. And she was like, "Well, you know what? You feel like that? I'm done." So that was that. Let me see. Karen and Gael, they go to dinner. They're sitting there talking, and this is a little bit tricky for me. I kind of feel like this was the turning point for Gael, because I always liked Gael from the minute I met him. But they go to dinner. Kara's talking them up. They're talking, and she was like, "Oh, are you always so nice? This, that, and the other." And he was like, "Trust me, I'm not so nice." And his face was like, what's going on? So anyway, he's seeming a little strange to me because he said something else, kind of like breaking down what he did in his job, but he was like breaking down like a relationship or something that could happen in real life. And I was like, and the intense kind of not so much playful like he normally is kind of way. And I don't think Kara was getting it because she was so busy. Okay, so we're gonna see. This is gonna unfold with them. What's gonna really happen? Um, so then we switch to I think Mary Jane and Kara see each other at work, and Mary Jane and her have a talk about where she got her sources from because she was given a report on what happened to the guy, and like I said previously, it was given like emails that was found where they was running him through the mud. It was like, yeah, he got problems. Everybody got problems. Let him get the F over it. And, let's get all out of him what we can get out of him because he's probably going to F and leave anyway. Like, just really horrible stuff that they shouldn't have been saying, let alone emailing to somebody else. And it kind of came out that they dropped the ball on him and didn't really care that they were dropping the ball. You know what I mean? They was kind of throwing the ball up beside his head. That's what they were really doing and was going to let him go once they got everything out of him that they could use. And she reported on that, and Kara was like, "Oh, well, where's your source?" And just still trying to be newsy. And Mary Jane was like, "When I get some more information, I'll let you know or whatever." And then one thing led to another, and Mary Jane lets her know. I know about that little focus group and all like that. And she was like, "Oh well, I was sworn not to tell you." Mary Jane was just looking at her like, "Really, girl? Really? For real though? If we're friends, you could have waited till we got off of, out of work and said, let meet me somewhere. I don't want to talk to you on the phone about it. Girl, they trying to do this and that to you, whatever, whatever. But mum's the word. If it get out, I'm going to say I don't know nothing about it, so don't you tell that I told you or whatever. But I need you to know that. And she lets him know, and Kara was full of it. She was trying to find, I'm defending myself. She was trying to find all excuses why it wasn't on her. No, it was on you. And Mary Jane just walked off on her. I said, you better get her together and walk off on her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so she calls before she pulls off from work. She calls David. She's like, meet me at home. And when she gets there, he's sitting there, and she's like, listen, I'm asking you what you told me I should have just asked for a while ago. Because last season he told her if you wanted a baby, Mary Jane, all you had to do was ask. And basically that's what she was asking. And they get to the music. Oh, excuse me. Boom, chicky, wow, wow. And they are getting ready to go into their love making, and he said, are you sure? She was like, yeah, I'm sure. I want to have a baby. I don't want to just have any random baby. I want to have your baby. And then it's bone chicky wah wah till it fades to black, and that's it. That's all I have. I hope it wasn't too long, but I will be reviewing Empire tonight. Drip drop out, drip drippity drop out, drop out, drip drippity drop out, drop out, drip drippity. Just like, all right, I'll see you later. Bye.